Hello, second graders. Happy Friday. We are going to do one page of a lesson 11-7. And today we are doing problem solving and we get to choose the model that we want to use. We voted yesterday on which model we wanted to use for today's lesson, so I'll bring that up in just a moment. But let's just go over the objective. Choose a model to organize data for a given problem solving situation. Math words: data, model, picture graph, bar graph, line plot. All right, so here's an example. They actually did this for us, but it's good for us to look at it so that we do a good job on the next page doing it by ourselves. Problem solving, choose a model. Lindsay asks some students which activity they want to have for field day. Which type of model should Lindsay use to show her data? Which two activities should be part of field day? So let's take a look at what we have here for field day. These are the kids who are choosing which activities they want. We have a lot of votes, and we're going to see which ones out of these four have the highest votes. Those are the ones that should be part of field day. What we have here is the activities. They could choose from relay races, or kickball, or face painting, or capture the flag. And here's the tally of who voted for what. That's kind of interesting. Face painting for field day? That doesn't seem very Olympic-like, but I guess that's what they wanted to try and ask. We can see in the green box it says there are 4 categories of data, and each category has a count. All right, so we've seen this, and now let's look at what we should do in choosing a model. It says, first, think about the type of data. Then choose a model and draw it. A picture graph or a bar graph is the best model to show counts of different categories of data. I'd like you to underline that. So they say, a picture graph or a bar graph is the best model to show counts of, this is a big deal right here, different categories of data. So if we are talking about 4 very different things and then the data that goes with it, a picture graph or a bar graph is the best model to do. Well, when would it be a good time to use a line plot? I'm going to go back and we're going to take a look at line plots just to jog our memory. And here is an example of a line plot. If you remember, we have a number line and we put X's for how many go with that number. The time when it's good to use a line plot is when you are talking about one type of category. And here you'll notice that the one type of category is the students. There's not any other category than just students. They're all students. It's students who jump different distances in feet, but once again, it's all students and it's all in feet. That's when it's a good time to make a line plot. But if you are talking about something that has different categories, relay race, kickball, face painting, capture the flag, it's not just about all students with all jumping in inches or feet. It's really different categories that we're looking at. That's when you know you want to use a picture graph or a bar graph. I hope that explanation kind of helps. Maybe helps more than I know. Once we've made the bar graph, we are supposed to choose the 2 activities that should be part of field day. Which 2 activities got the most votes? So we can see here, the 2 most votes, or the most votes, We're given to kickball and to capture the flag. Okay, well, we know how to play capture the flag, don't we, class? That was a good time. And kickball, we were just getting started doing that. We also know how to do relay races, but that didn't score as high. So here's the final answer. When the question says which two activities should be part of field day, down here the final answer says kickball and capture the flag should be part of field day because they have the most votes. All right, now we're going to do the same thing, but we are going to do it on this page. This is kind of exciting because we're doing it starting from scratch. They give us all of the measurements, but we have to first put it in a tally chart, and we'll put it up here. And then after the tally chart, we will make a model, and we've chosen which model that is. I'll disclose that in a second. Okay, let's start with a tally chart. Omar measures to the nearest inch the length of each shell in his collection. Okay, so we're talking about shells, and we're talking about how many inches they are. Uh-oh, class, I see a hitch. I know we voted on which model graph we like the best, but guess what? That is not going to work for problem number 1. And the reason why is, are we talking about a lot of different categories, or are we talking about one single type? Uh-oh. We're just talking about shells, one single type, shells. And we're measuring it in inches. So I'm afraid we are not going to be able to use our bar graph, which I know you all voted was your favorite. I'm so sorry. So there were a few people who said that they liked line plots, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing by the time we are done. All right, let's take a look first at our tally chart. So let's go over here. Do we need to make a tally chart? We don't necessarily, because they didn't make us do it for a line plot, but it might help us to be able to stay organized. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and do that? Okay, I'm going to make my tally chart. I'm going to say here's my shells and their sizes, their inches. Okay, so we're going to say here shells, let's say shell sizes, and I'm going to say in inches, and then we're going to have the tally here. Once again, we don't necessarily have to do this, but I'm hoping this might help us stay organized. So looks like we start with 2 inches. And then there's 3 inches. Maybe I should zoom in. There we go. And I don't see 4. That's all right. We'll put it in 5 and 6. Oh dear. Maybe your chart might have to be a bit bigger than mine. Okay, let's see how many shells are 2 inches. 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 shells that are 2 inches. And now let's count how many are 3 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many shells are 4 inches? None, 0. I'll leave it blank. How many shells are 5 inches? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And last of all, how many shells are 6 inches? 1, 2. Oh, very good. Remember, if I'm moving too fast, pause it and write this down. Just remember, there's none for 4. Maybe I'll just put a line through there so I don't get mixed up and write something down. It says here, what length of shell is the most common? So look over here, which shell size has the most? we have the most of. I can see right here. The shell that has 3 inches in length has 5 tally marks. So I'm going to say the shell, what length of shell? The length would be 3 inches. That is the answer to that question right there, okay? Now they want us to make a model that best displays the data. Use your model to answer the question. Well, once again, remember, since we're only talking about one type of object, and it's a shell, and we're just talking about the shells of different sizes, this is when a line plot works best. So I'm going to draw a line going across, and I can draw extra lines, or I could just start with what I see here. So it starts with a number 2. So I'm going to say 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And what did these numbers represent? These numbers represented the shell size in inches. So I'm just going to write that down here. Shell size in inches. Okay. And what I could do is I could go back here to double check and see. Okay, there we go. Yes, we have a number line going across, and we put down at the bottom what these numbers represented, and at the top they put a title, so we should put a title up here. They have Delaney's Fabric, which is the name of the person in this story. So the name of the person in our story is Omar, and we're looking at, what does Omar measure? He measures his shells. So I'm just going to put here Omar's shells. Okay, it is time to mark our line plot. Oh, wait, let's look. Oh, line plots have arrows on each side, showing that there's more numbers going to the left that count down, and then there's more numbers going to the right counting up. So let's do that too. The arrow here showing more lines going to the left and more lines going to the right. Okay, now this is the fun part. We start filling it in. So I look at 2. How many are 2 inches? 3 of them. So remember, line plots, we do X's. 1, 2, 3. For 3 inches, we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 4, nothing. For 5, we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and for 6, we have 2. 1, 2. The last question here is a repeat of up here. I guess I kind of answered a little early, didn't I? That's all right. So the most common length of shell is, so that means we want to look for the length of shell that has the most X's. And the most X's are right over here, 3 inches.